bandsaw is pretty handy when you've got a place to clamp it. Yesterday, guys, I did a video on this little thrown together foot actuated bench vise. And I wanted to talk a little bit more about it today. I get a lot of, I like do my videos and fast forward a lot with the music and, you know, all that commotion, because I get a better viewer retention when I do that. And that's one of the things I have to look at as a video creator. What videos are keeping people's attention more, and how do I create more like that so I can, you know, I can keep viewers interested. And it seems like when I do the fast forward with the music, I get much better video retention than I do when I actually talk a lot. I guess people don't want to hear me talking. So anyway, but I've been getting a lot of questions about some of these builds, so I thought what I would do is start doing a Q&A on, you know, the builds that I get a lot of responses on, a lot of questions, a lot of emails about. And the first one we're going to start with is this little foot actuated bench vise. Again, this was thrown together very hastily. I had just a little over an hour yesterday morning before I had to go in and watch the baby for my wife to go to work, so I just threw this together. But let me show you how it works. We'll talk a little bit more about it and some of the little things that you would need to know if you want to build one of these. I'm going to move you closer. I'm going to try to do this without too much video editing here. I'll just make it quick and easy. Okay, that's good. All right, to start with, let's talk about this section here. This is basically just a lever and a fulcrum, if you will, in a vertical position rather than a horizontal position. I used 16 penny nails I did that to, you know, show viewers that you don't have to go out and spend a small fortune on hardware to make stuff like this. You know, nails work really good in pinned positions, and I use them a lot. So it just works on this fulcrum. You got a foot pedal here, and that I did that just so you could actually just leave the bar in there and, you know, lean up against it, but it's nicer to have that downward energy because it creates more clamping pressure. And on the piece here, one of the things I didn't do a very good job of covering in the video, whenever you have something in a pinned position, a single pinned position like this, it's going to create a circumference. What I mean by that is if I kept going, this would create a big circle. So when I pull out on this, there's some lift right here. As I pull out, this actually moves up a small amount and that would be a problem if I had left the slide here. Let me move this. If I had left this slide its full thickness, that would be a problem, because what would happen is as I pulled out, this would lift and pinch on this the back clamp here. So what I did is I just took a belt sander and shaved off about from this point to this point, about 3/16 of an inch here to 0 at this point. So now when I pull out, you can see how this kind of, if you look right here, you'll see how that kind of levels out as it's coming to the high point of that swing, and then it starts to come back down. And that just, you know, that just makes it easy for this thing to actuate through its full range of motion without getting pinched up underneath here. You know, just it's a simple channel. I just had this was a 2x6 that I ripped 2 pieces off each side that were an inch wide, and I just left whatever was left I used for my slide here. And then these 2 pieces are just a chunk of 2x4 that I ripped down to 1 3/8. It doesn't have to be. You could leave it the full 1.5 inches. And really, you could build this whole thing without doing much in the way of rip cuts. You could just use a 2x4 and some 2x2s on the side. And this right here is a fairly weak point to pin at. If I were to like step down on this, this would break. You know, I think probably a better option would have been to leave this full thickness and just create a wider stem here and then pin it on both sides. And another thing you can do, if you want to leave your slide the full thickness, rather than just having one pin position here, you create 2, one here and then one right next to it with a little piece in between connecting those 2 pinning positions. And what that'll do is that'll alleviate the need to sand this out. It's another option. Again, like I said, I threw this together very quickly, so I think we'll do a build in the future of one that's much more robust and a little bit more user-friendly. But I wanted to come back and give you guys an idea how you can throw this together. This does not require plans. You guys don't need plans for this. If you think about it, stop, think about the mechanics of it, how it's all working. This would be a really good project, especially if you're just beginning in woodworking, to sit down and figure out. Even if there's a little bit of frustration, like my father always said, frustration is the best learning tool. A little bit of frustration is good for us because it helps us to learn how to get past those points and figure things out. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Again, this is Think Woodworks, and I'm Izzy Swan, and I really appreciate all the interest you guys have been showing. And build one of these. They're super handy to have, and they're really fast. The one thing I didn't show that I wanted to show you guys real quick before I let you go is, my favorite thing in the world is a wedge. If you want to put a piece in and you want to clamp it, but you don't want to sit around, with your foot here holding this, you just put some down pressure on that foot pedal and take your little wedge, tap it in the back between the slide and the channel here, and that'll actually hold. Oop, I guess I should have done a little more pressure. That'll actually hold that position, so you can be a hands-free situation. And then when you're ready to, you don't want to put an exorbitant amount of pressure on that clamp or that wedge when you push it in. You can just pop it out, and then your piece comes out. So another handy little trick with a vise like this. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll talk to y'all later.